All right. As an economist, I'm just wondering what's going through your mind when you hear, oh, the Naira is at 1,400 Naira. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's good news, really. It's a thing to be happy about, and it's a thing we hope we'll be able to sustain. We've come a long way, and we thought we were losing it at a point. People were cynical about what the reforms would bring, but thankfully the reforms have been quite rewarding, and we are beginning to heave a sigh of relief. Everybody is getting excited. The reforms have been a very difficult one. We started with the oil reforms, move up petroleum subsidy reforms. Then the CBN was bold enough to streamline the FX regime. The era of multiple exchange rates was brought to an end. So it's been good news, and we can only hope this will be sustained. And when you look at it, really, government has no choice than to consolidate on the reforms. There's no going back on it. There is not likely to be any form of policy reversal or policy somersault. What we expect government to do is to look at what government is doing now, look at how to improve on different dimensions of it, and make sure that the tempo of the reform, of the various reforms, that they are sustained. So it's a good time for the economy, it's a good time for Nigeria, and people can begin to have hope. That's the main thing about this. We've left the era of hopelessness when people thought we were on the way to Harare or to Venezuela. People are beginning to have confidence in the economy. Foreign investors are beginning to show a lot of enthusiasm looking at the direction of the Nigerian market. The entire market, or the entire economy, is active, both formal, informal. The activities are becoming more intense, and it's a good one for Nigeria. We only hope that gradually we'll still have more gains. Gradually, the average consumer, the average man on the street will feel the impact. So when you say the Naira has appreciated,
yes,
what exactly does it say about the average man on the
Exactly, I was going there because, you know, when
streets?
analysts speak, you have your faces lit up, and then people are wondering, what is this gentleman talking about here?
Oh, yes. It's always important to talk about what that does to the economy, what that does to the operators, and how the average man on the street will benefit from that. Number one is prices will come down. Nigeria is still, we see largely rely on importation or what happens in the international market and all the likes. So as prices are coming, the Naira is gaining fillip, prices are likely to come down. Then investors begin to have interest and confidence in the economy because we have reached a point where everybody, the government, the operators, the regulators can beat their chest and say, oh, we've achieved the level of stability, and we can plan on that basis. We can assess the market as it is and look at the potentials and see whether it's good for us to go in there, do business in Nigeria. So there'll be an increase in economic activities. And as much as we have that, the consumers will benefit because they have more area of items, services, goods to pick from. There's more competition within the economy. Where you have competition, there is likely to be price drop. So all along, the consumers will benefit. The market, the investment market will benefit because people are beginning to look at Nigeria and say, oh, that's the next biggest destination for investment in Africa. Right. So the investment, the reforms so far has cleared all doubts about the Nigerian economy, about the Nigerian markets, about the potentials of the economy. And people are beginning to say we have to return to Nigeria. And returning to Nigeria means they are bringing a lot of things to Nigeria. They are bringing expertise, they are bringing revenue, they are bringing income, they are creating jobs in Nigeria. And then they do that, there's this, it dovetails, it goes through the economy, more goods and services at reasonable price, more competition. So it's a good one for us. We are in a season where we should have hope. We are in a season where we should begin to be particularly positive.